Question number 176. The duration of luteal phase in a woman whose menstrual cycle is of 34 days. Now we say that the normal menstrual cycle lasts how many days? 28 days, and ovulation occurs on the 14th day. That is 28 minus 14 is 14. So the ovulation occurs on 14th day. Alright, because out of the whole cycle of 28 days, we have subtracted the duration of luteal phase. Now, in a woman whose cycle lasts 34 days, the luteal phase is anyway going to be for 14 days. And that is what our question is asking us. The luteal phase lasts for how many days? So the ovulation also would occur just before 14 days. So we do a 34 minus 14, that is 20th day the ovulation is going to occur. This is how we have to calculate. We do not calculate from the beginning phase. We always calculate from the end. That is, the luteal phase is going to remain constant. So our answer of luteal phase becomes 14 days. That is option number 3. Let's move on to the next question now. Question number 177. Is the hormone responsible for release of milk by mammary glands. Now, very carefully, the release of milk. Does it ask you the formation of milk? No, because formation, there are two events. One is the formation of milk, which occurs because of influence of prolactin, whereas release of milk always occurs because of the action of oxytocin, which is going to act on myoepithelial cells present in mammary glands and cause contraction of the myoepithelial cells, which will assist in the release of milk. So clearly, for the release of milk, we have our option, which is oxytocin, which is option number 4. So answer is option number 4, that is oxytocin. HPL, as we know, is human placental lactogen, which is going to be secreted by the placenta, and it will help in the formation of milk, but not in the release of milk. So that is why we go with option number 4. Let's move on to question number 178. Choose the odd one with respect to external genitalia. Now we know the external genitalia contains various organs. Let's find out which is not a part of it. Cervix, is it a part of external genitalia? No, cervix is not a part of external genitalia. Cervix is the passage which leads from the vaginal canal into the uterus. So this is what we are going to call as the cervix. This is going to be the vaginal canal. This is the cervix, which has two ends. One opens towards the uterus and one opens towards the vaginal canal, and this is the uterus. Alright students, so cervix is definitely not a part of external genitalia. It is a part of the reproductive tract. Clitoris, yes, it is a homologue of the penis. It contains erectile tissue and it is present right anterior junction of labia minora. Mons pubis, definitely it is a part of external genitalia. It is an area which contains fatty tissue and is covered by skin and pubic hair. And hymen is a perforated membrane. So the answer, the odd one with respect to external genitalia is cervix. So the answer becomes 1, that is cervix, which is not a part of external genitalia. This was an easier question. Let's move on to question number 179. Meiosis 1 results in the formation of. Now we know that meiosis 1 will give rise to 2 haploid cells, whereas meiosis 2 is going to give rise to 4 haploid cells. So let's see. Spermatid. Spermatid is the result of not meiosis 1 but meiosis 2. Otid is the result of meiosis 2, which is completed in the fallopian tube. So second polar body also is the result of meiosis 2. Now let's look at the secondary oocyte. The secondary oocyte is the result of meiosis 1 when the primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1. It leads to the formation of a secondary oocyte and the first polar body. So secondary oocyte is the result of meiosis 1. Now the secondary oocyte is arrested in metaphase stage of meiosis 2. So when secondary oocyte undergoes meiosis 2 and it completes meiosis 2 after the arrival of the sperm, it leads to the formation of ootid. So secondary oocyte is definitely the result of meiosis 1. So in this case our answer becomes option number 4. So answer is option number 4, that is the result of meiosis 1 is out of all these 4 secondary oocyte. I hope we are clear with all the options, students. We will have to go through spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Moving on to the last question of the paper. Question 180 says that the presence of distinct theca externa and theca interna is seen in. These are the 2 layers which are present in the Graafian follicle. Let's find out where they should be present. Oogonial cells, primary follicle, secondary follicle or tertiary follicle. The formation of theca externa and interna is very distinctly seen in tertiary follicle. So basically we say that the tertiary follicle is characterized by the presence of an antrum which contains liquor folliculi or follicular fluid and theca. These are the layers which are formed of follicular or granulosa cells, and these are present in the tertiary follicle, which will also be present in the Graafian follicle. They are not yet formed in the secondary follicle, and the secondary follicle also does not contain an antrum, and the primary follicle is composed just of the primary oocyte along with few follicular cells. Oogonial cells are the cells of germinal epithelium. Primary follicle contains just a primary oocyte along with few follicular cells. So primary follicle does not show the presence of theca externa and theca interna. The secondary follicle contains the primary oocyte and is not covered by theca interna and theca externa. Rather, it has got just few layers of follicular cells. So in this case, students, our answer becomes tertiary follicle, that is option number 4. The tertiary follicle which contains a distinct theca interna and a distinct theca externa. So students, I hope you are clear with all the questions and all the answers as well as the other options which were asked in the paper. Please go through the paper nicely once again and memorize the concepts which went wrong. I hope the paper was good and I hope you score well, and also all the best for your next AIATS. Thank you very much.